With that being said, we are happy to be joined by Commissioner of the Southwestern Athletic Conference, Dr. Charles McClelland. And with that being said, good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning, Andrew, and good morning to everyone that's on the call. I won't prolong the question and answering session with a long drawn-out speech, but just want to say first, congratulations to Coach Dooley and Coach Prime on making it to this historic championship. We've had a great year from a football's perspective. We're still tallying the numbers, but we're quite positive that we set a record this year from an attendance standpoint. It's been a great year. Our teams have adhered to our COVID protocols. We had 0 stoppages, and it really has been a historic year. We look forward to the championship game this Saturday. We think that we're going to have another record crowd based upon preliminary ticket sales. So we're kind of looking to see how big this game is going to be. We think that we're going to be able to beat some Power 5 conference championship games. And we are just, again, very, very excited as to where we are and where we're positioned within the Southwestern Athletic Conference. So I'll pause there and I'll open it up for questions.
Just a quick note for our media members, if you do have any questions for Commissioner McClelland, please utilize the raise your hand feature here on Zoom to get your question in the queue for the commissioner. With that, our first question goes to James Hill.
Good morning, sir. I hope you and everybody at the SWAC office are well. Can you talk a little bit about the renewed spotlight and the interest on HBCU football, and in particular, the SWAC making a lot of noise and obviously trending in a wonderful direction?
Well, we're definitely trending in a great direction. Okay, so you have to say hats off.
More you guys on the phone lines coming up next. Someone.
You have to say hats off to our administrators for putting a lot of these things in place, but also to our coaches. We've had some very competitive football games this year. From start to finish, every week we've had 3 or 4 games that meant something as it related to making it to the SWAC championship, all the way from week 1, where Jackson State and Florida A&M played. So it's been very exciting. Our sponsors have taken note as to where our football program is and where our conference is. So my responsibility as commissioner is to ensure that we continue in a forward progression. We are very, very pleased as to where we are positioned, but we still have a long ways to go and a lot of work to do.
Sir, we recently watched FAMU get an opportunity to play in the FCS playoffs. Going forward, do you envision maybe more SWAC teams getting a berth who don't play in the championship game? Is that a possibility?
Absolutely. That was our plan from day one. If you go back and look at some of the things that we talked about prior to this season, it was about, with the addition of FAMU and Bethune coming in, we have a legitimate Division I schedule. So if you play that schedule, and even some of those teams that are not necessarily on your schedule as they roll off, you're going to have those opportunities. I think what FAMU proved this year is the level of respect that the Southwestern Athletic Conference is getting from the nation from a football's perspective. For them to be able to get an at-large bid shows that our football is strong. All of the numbers were there. All of the metrics were there. To have 2 teams to be in the top 25, 3 teams over the course of the season. That was the plan from day one, to have a SWAC championship game, to have a team representative in the Celebration Bowl, and a representative, if not more than one, in the FCS playoff. So that is the significance of where we are and where our league is. You can be a part of our league and play in a bowl game, and also play in an FCS playoff game.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations on all of your success in the direction you're leading the SWAC in.
Thank you very much.
Next question goes to Mark Berman.
How are you, Dr. McClelland?
Doing fine, Mr. Berman. How are you?
Charles, what does it mean to the SWAC to see Prairie View in this situation now to win their first SWAC since '09 and second since all the way back in 1964?
Well, I think it's a testament to the administration at Prairie View. I think it's a testament to Coach Dooley. Again, when we split the divisions and Alcorn State went into the Western Division, it made that side extremely competitive. It made it extremely tough. Prairie View had a gauntlet of a schedule, and they are deserving to play in this championship game. And I think from a Prairie View's perspective, when you go back and you look at the history of Prairie View being dominant all the way up into the 60s and then having that lull. In 2009, head coach Henry Frazier comes in and takes them to the championship game and win the championship game. And then you fast forward to 2021, Coach Dooley has kind of renewed that pride in Prairie View A&M University football, and what better game to showcase, Prairie View A&M University and how far they come to a national audience, ESPN2, against a very good Jackson State team. There are going to be very few championship games on television on Saturday, Mark, and we think that ours is going to be as good as any that you're going to see. And I think that's the reason why you saw ESPN bump it up to their ESPN2 network. So 2 great teams, a great championship game. We're going to have a record crowd. We're going to show everybody what SWAC football is all about.
Next question goes to Charles Bishop.
How you doing, Dr. McClelland?
Doing fine, Charles.
I wanted to ask, and you touched on the impact of the crowd. Jackson obviously has a tremendous SWAC fan base, Rabbit fan base, but talk about the significance of the city of Jackson and Jackson State hosting this SWAC championship game.
Well, when we decided to go to the higher seed hosting, it was really based and rooted in the fact that we know that the home team is going to be able to bring their fan base out, whether it's Jackson or whether it was Prairie View. We were excited. What we want is for when the nation cuts on their television sets and to see SWAC football, to see a sold out stadium, to see RVs, to see that barbecue smoke rising, to show everybody what SWAC is all about. We have internally been able to see it, but we want the world to know. And I think this is going to be a great opportunity. Jackson, Mississippi always does a good job with assisting not only the Southwestern Athletic Conference, but Jackson State in hosting these events. And, Jackson State has been synonymous with SWAC and SWAC football and large crowds. So what better place than Jackson, Mississippi to host this championship game?
Sure thing. Thank you.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Hey, Commissioner. I know much was made in the spring of how many games on ESPN and ESPN2 that featured the SWAC. In the fall, obviously, with the commitments that ESPN had, there were not as many SWAC football games on those 2 tiers. What can be done to, I guess, improve the standing of the SWAC and getting more games on those platforms?
Well, additional work from the conference office, but I don't want to diminish what has transpired within the Southwestern Athletic Conference. We've had a record number of games on ESPN Network, linear and digital. We've had a record number of games on the ESPN2 platform and the ESPN platform. So I don't want to diminish at all this historic season and our historic coverage from a television standpoint. Is there more to do? Yes. But we kicked down a lot of barriers this year, and I am extremely proud as to the number of games that we had on linear, and we'll work to get more.
All right, thank you.
Try to get 2 more questions in here quickly. Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Good morning, Commissioner Dr. Charles McClelland.
Morning, Dr. J. Kenyatta Cavill.
Inside HBCU Sports Lab, it's always a pleasure to exchange information with you. A couple of years ago, you took over as the commissioner. In terms of the strategies that you put at that time, where do you believe you are in terms of those strategies for all conference, not just football, but other sports as well, played at least this fall with the expansion on the rise?
I think we're ahead. We came in with a 5-year strategic plan and a 10-year strategic plan. And there have been a couple of things that have boosted, our ability to explode. Obviously, the addition of Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M put us in a spotlight in which we have not had before. Clearly, the addition of Coach Prime, he's had opportunities for us to showcase to individuals that would not normally be looking at the SWAC championship. I was at the Bayou Classic this weekend, and I fell asleep and woke up. And on the Florida State-Florida game, they were talking about the SWAC championship because of the connection with Coach Prime. So we've had a lot of positive. We've had a lot of momentum. Like I said, we've added General Motors, a major corporate sponsor. Those type of corporate sponsors don't sponsor just anybody. They've looked at what we've done. They looked at our strategic plan. They looked at where we're going, and they have committed to taking that journey with us. Cricket Wireless, Pepsi Cola. We can go on and on. So, our strategic plan was in 5 years, we wanted to be at a certain spot. We put pressures on some of our partners. They've responded. And again, we have a lot of work to do, but I would say of our 5-year strategic plan, we're in year 3. And some of the things that we wanted to have done by year 5, we have completed in year 3. But make no mistake about it, we're not done. We're just getting started. We feel that we are one of the best conferences in America, not FCS conference, not autonomy conference, not group of 5 conference. And we think from a revenue standpoint, from a media standpoint, and an impact standpoint, that we can be as good as anybody else. And we're going to work hard. We're not going to settle. We know what our value is. We know what our worth is. We said that time and time again, right? And it's starting to manifest itself. And we have a lot of things on the horizon. We want additional television coverage. We're working to get that. We've made significant strides in creating opportunities for us to do some of these things. We have a lot more work to do, but I can tell you this, we're not going to take a back seat to anybody anymore. We know who we are, and we're going to continue to move forward. And we're going to make sure that every box on that 10-year strategic plan is going to be checked prior to that 10-year time frame. But we're not going to wait 10 years, right, to get everything done. I guess my point was we had a strategic plan that had 3-year objectives, 5-year objectives, and 10-year objectives. And I can tell you we're well on track.
Thank you. Quick follow-up would be, if you would, I'd be remiss since final grades are coming out and final exams. What type of grade would you give the SWAC office in terms, along with the presidents, in terms of where you are on that strategic plan, so we can kind of quantify it? And if you would, are there 1 or 2 things that we could look for that you're saying that you're coming up on that plan that you can point to specifically, or we just need to wait and see?
Well, as far as grading is concerned, being the student, I will allow you to do the grading. The only thing that I can do is continue to try to, move forward this conference. I say this all the time. Everything that we do is not correct. There are some decisions that I make and say, Charles, that's a stupid decision. So there's absolutely no crystal ball. We don't think that we are perfect. We know that we make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Our responsibility is to identify those things and continue to move forward. And that's what we're going to continue to do. As far as some of the major initiatives that we have, I think very clearly our number one initiative is to continue to create linear opportunities within the Southwestern Athletic Conference. We want to be on television. We want a first tier, we want a second tier, we want a third tier, and then we want another digital tier. If I start to talk about all of the things that we have going on, it would be all day, but I give you one. We're working on, and I won't mention the company, to get artificial intelligent cameras in all of our stadiums and all of our arenas where we can now deliver all of our games. A lot of people early on criticized why we did not put our games on SWAC Digital Network. Well, we didn't put them on SWAC Digital Network because we wanted a certain quality. We wanted to be associated with having the best. And I think we've done that. The same company that shoots for ESPN shoots for the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Others saying, hey, we want to be able to see these games. Well, we did not want to take that opportunity away for our member institutions, you can go on TSU's website, for example, and get TSU games, Root Sports. You can go on all of our websites. But when we put a package together, you have to pay for it. I don't want to deliver every football game, every basketball game, every baseball game to anybody for peanuts. You're going to have to pay for those. So let's create the demand. Let's create a quality product. And I think we've done that. Now we have the ability to go out and get suitable individual companies that want those, and we have them. So that plan is coming together. And I think that's the first and foremost priority, is to get additional opportunities for our student athletes to be highlighted on a national level. But there are so many more initiatives that we have. And I think at the end of the day, I want the Southwestern Athletic Conference to be revenue producing, to where our membership can rely on us distributing 6 and 7 figures back to the membership in order to help them do the things that they need to do to advance their program. You know, there's been a lot of reorganization. There's been a lot of schools leaving other schools. There was one conference trying to get our schools. They didn't leave. They didn't leave because of where we are and the things that we're able to deliver now and the trajectory that we're on. We're going to continue to grow stronger and stronger and stronger. And I guarantee you, we're going to continue to make individuals proud to be a part of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. That's not to say that we're not going to make a mistake along the way. We're going to own up to those. But I can tell you, the best has yet to come. We're just beginning this pursuit of making the Southwestern Athletic Conference the best conference. And I know I've talked long, but Stephen has had his hand raised. Andrew, I would be remiss if I didn't let Stephen ask his question. And I'm commissioner.
Thank you, Charles. I don't grade on the curve. I don't grade on the curve, but you're doing well. Thank you.
Thank you.
I said I don't grade on the curve, but I think you're doing well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate that, Commissioner. I'll make it quick. You know, you talked about every decision is not a good one, but one of the first ones you guys did when you came in was bringing the SWAC championship game back after the decision was made not to have it. Obviously, when you look forward to Saturday, you're talking about a potential record crowd and lots of television. Just talk about, just reflect on that decision and how maybe this is kind of what you envisioned when you and the presidents and chancellors got together to make this decision.
It absolutely was. And, you know, again, I don't necessarily want to say, you know, great decision or not, but I can tell you when you look at championship games. When we had our first championship game in 2018 at Alcorn State, we were 4,000 people away from beating the Pac-12 championship game in attendance. We were on ESPNU. You fast forward to now, you know, we had great audiences in the spring. We are anticipating between 55 and 60,000 people at Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium. If that happens, Stephen, we're going to outdraw every FBS championship game, probably other than the SEC. That shows the impact. We've been bumped up to ESPN2. My goal is to get prime time every time that our football games are on, but it is a process. You have to show that we have the product, and we've been able to show that. The other thing that I'm probably most proud of is the fact that we allowed the host institution to keep the majority of the revenue. There's very little of that revenue that they have to share. It goes to expenses. So not only are we creating a exciting game, Jackson State University is going to be able to generate the ticket sales, the parking, the concessions, and all that goes along with it. So we wanted to find innovative ways of putting resources back into our member institutions. So when you look at the decision to have it and compare it to what we did in the past, bringing that championship game back was the absolute right decision. Our corporate sponsors have jumped on board. We needed that game for our corporate sponsorships. And let's make no mistake about it, a sold out crowd at our championship game is nothing but positive for the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Appreciate that, Dr. McClelland.
So thank you. And thank all of you for your continued coverage of the SWAC this season. It's been a historic season, and we're looking for another great finish. All of our games have been good. And again, congratulations to Coach Dooley. Congratulations to Coach Prime. and looking forward to a good game on Saturday.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. We definitely appreciate your time today. With that being said, we will move to the head coaches portion of our media session. Happy to be joined by Prairie View A&M head coach Eric Dooley. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. Coach, if you could please just start us out with an opening statement previewing the upcoming matchup this week versus Jackson State.
Yeah, well, actually happy and excited to be playing in this SWAC championship game. We know it's going to be a challenge for us. I think it's two good football teams that are going to line down on Saturday. Of course, my team will be ready to play. This is Prairie View first time being in SWAC championship since 2009. So I know that the Panther Nations are excited and our team will be ready to play.
Thank you so much for those comments, Coach Dooley. We'll now open it up for questions for Coach. If you have a question, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue for Coach. Our first question goes to Charles Bishop.
Good morning, Coach. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
I wanted to ask a question. A lot of us, when we take a look at this game, and it's sort of cliche, the game is won in the trenches, but I wanted to ask you about Danny Garza and Jason Dumas, what they've meant to your team.
You know, they've been a mainstay, especially Danny Garza. He's been around for 5 years. He was here when I got here, but he was a guy that worked hard in the classroom as well as on the football field. And the fruit of his labor is showing right now. It means a whole lot. And when you talk about a Jason Dumas, you talk about the rock of the defense, a guy that's going to play hard every play, a guy that's not big in stature, but bring a lot to the table. So those two young men have done a great deal for this program.
I appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Wilton Jackson.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. So I have one question, then I have a follow-up after that. After coming off of the loss to Mississippi Valley, how do you get your players, prepared? Again, obviously it's the championship game and it's a big game. How do you get your players wired and prepared to come to Jackson for the SWAC championship game?
Well, that was a bump in the road right there, but I know that my football team will be ready to go. If you got to get someone ready to play in a SWAC championship game, then I don't think you have the right football team that's playing. So it's not going to be much that we have to do. Our team will come and be ready to go to work today. There's no question about it. And we understand that. So we'll be ready to go Saturday.
And also talk about, the play from your quarterback, Juwan Pass. Like how big will his play be important in Saturday's game?
It's extremely important. You're talking about the quarterback. So where he goes, we go. But he'll be ready to go. I think the things that he's doing is going to help us to be successful in what we're trying to accomplish. So his play is extremely important. And no question, you're going to hear me say it repeatedly. He'll be ready to play.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
We do have a media member that actually was in queue there for a question, so we're going to bump him up on the question there. We're going to take a question now from Terrence Harris.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, Terrence?
I'm good. Hey, I want to talk to you a little bit about the impact of Drake Cheatham and what he's meant to your team and to your defense.
Man, talking about a young man that's been playing extremely well this whole season. A guy that does excel in the classroom, a guy that excel on the football field. He's a part of my first signing class. So he means a lot to the defense. A very bright, smart young man that understands football. So he's a key to that secondary and understand what Coach Miller wants him to do. So he's a big part of what we're trying to accomplish.
And how has he grown and developed over these years you've had him?
He had to grow up fast because he came in starting. He started as a true freshman. So what he's been doing been great for us. But, the young man has grown I say each day. I won't even say each season. Each day, this young man looks to get better. He's like a coach on the football field for us. He's a guy that's going to come in, going to put the work in the film. I don't have to look and see how much he's watching film. He's probably going to watch film just as much as he's going to study. And he's been accomplished as well in the classroom. You're talking about a young man that's going to graduate in engineering next semester. So he's been doing a great job for us. So he's a big part of what we've been doing here.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question we'll take is from Mark Berman.
How you doing, Eric?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Mark?
So can you kind of put into words what it would mean to your program, to your school, if you can win your first SWAC title since '09 and just the second one in 57 years?
I don't think words can describe that. It's going to be huge for Prairie View A&M University. It's going to be huge for this football team. It's going to be huge for a lot of for Dr. Simmons, for her to have opportunity to be put in this situation. So I mean, it's words would never describe it. But you know, of course, you got to play the game, and that's what we're going to prepare ourselves to do.
Eric, what is it? What the challenges of having to play a game of this magnitude with so much riding on it and having to go on the road and play it in their place?
Well, you talking about Southwestern Athletic SWAC football. That's what it's all about. That's what this conference brings. That's what I'm accustomed to. That's what I'm used to. So I think it's going to be very, very exciting, and understanding that it's going to be a great contest. No question about it.
Thank you.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How you doing?
Pretty good, sir. You've been able to get this program back on the scene in terms of getting to the SWAC championship and one step away from a Celebration Bowl. Can you just talk about going in on Saturday and just playing a great game and the mentality going forward?
Oh yeah, it's no question about it. We are going to represent the Western Division, but it's going to be a challenging contest for us. We do understand that. I've been saying all a while, and you guys been here all a while, that the SWAC is very, very competitive. It's something that I definitely love to see. I've been a part of this conference for a long time, and to see where we are right now, I think is, it gives guys like Eddie Robinson to smile, to look down on us. Guys like Marino Chasm can smile. Guys now like Markham to smile. So, W.C. Gordon, guys that's been around. And I'll be remiss if I didn't name Pete Richardson. This is what this conference is built on. So it's going to mean a lot. It's going to be great. Great deal.
Coach, in closing, can you just talk a little bit about the renewed spotlight on HBCU football and in particular the SWAC? All eyeballs across the country. People are looking and they want to get a look at that great football.
I think I commend our commissioner, Coach Mr. McClelland, what he's done, putting us in that spotlight, giving us that opportunity to showcase what we have at our different universities. So I think it's huge for HBCUs to get this opportunity, and we got to seize the moment. We got to make sure we take care of the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Have a great weekend and a great week leading up.
Thank you.
We'll try to get two more questions in here quickly. Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach. When did you know that your team was capable of being in this position to play for a SWAC championship?
And not in a bad way, but I said it all along that I feel that this team here had championship written on it, the opportunity, because I knew what I was bringing back. I was bringing a veteran ball club back, and I felt real good about what we were, how we would line up. We just had to play the season, and fortunate enough, the guys played the season, and it worked out good for us. So I knew it all along, and just had to go through the season, and fortunate we're here now.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Last question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Coach Dooley, how you doing this morning?
Quite fitting. Last question.
No problem. I'll let you get back to work because I know you want to get a lot of work done. With that being said, I wanted to ask you in terms of totality of the program, when you're building towards a championship, when it comes to culmination in terms of being in the championship game, all that you put together, is this the framework that you saw it over a period of time?
Yeah, I think, I took the mindset of you have to build inside out. And what I meant by that, you had to take care of the trenches. When I looked at some of the models of the programs that was winning championships, you got to have a good offensive line, and you got to have a good a dominating defensive line. So I tried to build from within. And then you just got to go get those guys that can make plays on the outside as well. So this is the mindset that I not finished yet. I still think is a lot of pieces of this puzzle that I need to put together, but I do know that it's heading in the right direction.
Thank you, Coach Dooley. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Coach Dooley, if we can, we'll take one more quick question from Brian Bearfield.
Hey, Coach, how's it going today?
Going well.
Coach, I don't know if anybody was able to ask you this yet, and I apologize for my tardiness. But during this week, were you all look into what has been causing maybe some of the slow starts in the first half? Coming off that bye week, it seemed like you all had that momentum leading up into that second bye week as far as playing in the first half, but in the second half, it seems like you all have taken a step back. Was that due to something, as far as going into those games?
Oh, well, I don't know what it looked like from the outside, but for us, what we're going to do, we're going to make sure we take care of the things that got us here, correct the things that's going to make us a better football team. I think you'd be remiss if any coach is not going to look to see what they can fix leading into which is going to be the biggest game of this season. So of course, we're going to take a look at some of the things that we can correct and work on some of the things that we've done well and continue. But, I'm not going to let the football team know. I'm not going to put it on him. They had a great season thus far. But, of course, to finish it off, it's going to take place in Southwestern Athletic Conference Championship this Saturday.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Dooley, as always, we appreciate your time and good luck on Saturday.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
All right, next up, happy to be joined by Coach Sanders with Jackson State. Good morning, Coach.
How you doing, everybody?
Doing great, Coach. As always, thank you so much for taking some time to join us. Please just start us out with an opening statement previewing your upcoming matchup in the SWAC championship versus Prairie View A&M.
First of all, we're elated and we're excited to be in the championship. That's a testimony to our coaches and our young men, our whole organization, and what we've accomplished and our goals being set early even in the spring. We felt like we would be at this moment. Our opponents are more than worthy. They're really good. They're physical. They're fast. They're tough. They're really coached well. And I look forward to this matchup. It's going to be a wonderful matchup right here at our home stadium. And I'm happy. I'm really excited about this. I really am.
Thank you for those opening comments, Coach. We'll now open it up for questions for Coach Sanders. First question goes to Charles Bishop.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Why does Charles always get the first question? I just want to know, why does Charles always get the first question? Now, who is Charles paying? Who does he know? Like, what is going on? Just because he's here every moment, on the sideline every day, he shouldn't get the first darn question every time. But no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Bishop. And I like the zip up. I like the new look that you got. But
thank you, Coach. Appreciate that. Appreciate it, Coach. I wanted to ask, and you've said this from the start, that you knew what was under the tree. Is there any sort of personal of indication for where you are or where Jackson State is in terms of getting to the SWAC championship?
No, there's not anything personal. I believe like that. I mean, you see it on the wall behind me. I really genuinely do. I believe in our coaches 100%. I know the work that they put into it, the kids they went out and recruited and we closed on, the practice habits, the things that we tolerate, things we won't tolerate. And I knew what we had. I just couldn't wait to unveil it. And it's been a blessing that we've been able to do what we sought out to do. But the worst thing about it, we're probably about 70% of what we could possibly be. I love the recruiting class that we have. Oh my God, the recruiting class that we have coming in, the potential signees, the guys that I know that are going to commit. It's going to be something to behold. It really is. I can't wait to see how much better we are and how much we gain even in the spring, because we're going to work our butts off this spring as well.
And Coach, follow up to that, and you mentioned practice habits. Was there a practice? Was there a game where you looked at this team and knew that it was a championship caliber team?
No, I looked at this team and got mad at this team several times at practice in a game, especially the line on both sides. I did that. But no, I trust our coaches and I know what we have. Our kids, they didn't buy in. They're committed. They're committed 100% and to believe. They just got to go out there and truly believe in alignment, assignment, and responsibility, and we're good. When we're on, we've only been on one game, like offense, defense, special team, and that was I believe Alabama A&M. We were really on. We're waiting to be on once again. We hadn't been on like that since.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that, Coach.
Thank you, sir, and I appreciate you being first.
Thank you.
Next up, we'll take a question from Wilton Jackson.
Hey, Coach. Good morning. How you doing?
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. So, knowing Jackson State, the last time they've won a championship was 2007. So, in your second season, how big would it be for you to bring this championship from, when you first took the podium as the coach of the program, you said you wanted to change the narrative of the program. You wanted to restore HBCU football. How big will it be for you to bring this first championship to Jackson State?
I think it's already been big. It doesn't have to be constituted with this last championship, and we're going to do what we're going to do. I will say that. But the narrative have already changed. We're much more prevalent. We, HBCU football, we got kids, 3-4 star kids. Now, I don't know if we have 5 yet, all amongst the SWAC committee and going on these visits. Guys like Eddie George doing what they're doing. Coach Simmons doing what he's doing. Coach Dancy and so forth. We have some wonderful coaches in the SWAC, wonderful players that I played against. I met some of the kids shortly after the game, after we were shaking hands. I think we're on the right path, and it doesn't constitute a championship to put a period at the end of the sentence, although we would like to put an exclamation mark at the end of the sentence, and I feel like we're going to do that. Right. But I think we're on the right path, and I know we're on the right path to what we're trying to accomplish in HBCU football and sports, period.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, sir.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Coach Prime, I hope you and everybody at J-State are well. The mind, the heart, the soul, and the spirit of a champion, you have that. Can you talk about giving that to your team and helping them become champions?
Well, I feel like oftentimes a team reflects its leader, and it's not just me. Really, the secondary reflects Coach Kevin Mathis. The defensive line reflects Coach Weeks. The offensive line, Coach Marcuson. And we must reflect our coaches. If we're not, the coaches aren't doing their jobs, and the leadership is not in leading correctly. Our young men get it, and they understand it. But it starts on the practice field with us. If we don't see it at practice, we know we're not going to see it in the game, and we're not going to give you the opportunity to do that foolishness in the game if we don't see it in practice. So I'm happy and I'm proud. We came off of a holiday weekend, and we went out there yesterday and bust our butts. I mean, we worked like dogs yesterday. It was a good, quick, crisp practice, and I was happy that they came back. We have maybe one guy late. We sent his butt right back in. We had the media team late. I sent their butts right back in. So probably 97% of the team really got it. In the organization. We got it. And these young men just want to win. And they want exposure, which we're giving them. And they're winning. They're doing what they set out to do. But it all starts out there on the practice field and in the meeting rooms.
Coach Shador has a phenomenal season going on. Can you talk about that gentleman and what you've been able to put in him and the hard work he's putting out there?
I'm a little salty about that situation right now. You know, I'm transparent with y'all. I'm going to keep it 100. Dennis just gave me the sheet with the awards on it. We don't have not one offensive player. Man, how is that possible? Not one. And what this young man accomplished, forget that he's my son, what he accomplished in the SWAC this year as a freshman. So don't punish him because he's a freshman. Give him what he should have coming. And I just thought he should have been the quarterback. I don't want to hear freshman of the year. That's automatic. We knew that. But he should have been, and I'm not dismissing Mr. Glass because I think that guy's a pro. And I hope he goes pro because that's just what I want for him. And I think he can do it. But Shador Ball, I know darn well every last one of y'all know what he did and what he represented as a freshman. Touchdown, the interception ratio, and doing what we've accomplished and why we're here right now where we are. Shoot, man, let it be it. But not one offensive guy, not even one of our receivers. Wow. Yeah, that's unbelievable. We got to stop that foolishness and call it what it is, man. Not one offensive guy
On the first.
on the first team. I don't know the second team. Nobody care about no second team. Nobody even goes that far. Nobody even know who lost the Super Bowl last year. You know who won. Tom Brady won. You don't even know who lost. So and nobody care about no second team. I don't even read back that far. I didn't even know it was a second team. Thank you for notifying me that it was a second team. No second place. Ain't nobody getting up for second place.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
I appreciate you, Mr. Hill.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach. Last week you mentioned how before the season started, the expectations were for your group to win and win big. And if you didn't, people like me and the media would criticize you for it.
That's true.
How did you prepare your players to carry the burden of that expectation going into the season?
Well, the expectation is on me. It's not on the kids. The kids just need to do what they're taught to do and follow out the game plan and execute. And that's what they did. As far as that other burden is that's about me. That's the pressure that you guys put on me, but I love it. I've been having it all my life. Ain't that changed? You know, my confidence offends people insecurity. So I'm used to that. And I'm thankful for that. And I welcome the challenge. And some of my kids have embraced that. They see the way that I walk. They see the way I talk. They see the confidence I display. And some of them have embraced that and they've embodied that and they're doing it.
Yeah,
even my kickers are walking bow-legged now. I love it.
As a quick follow-up to that, how much do you think it helps that your program is under the microscope in terms of being filmed a lot, you guys on television a lot, and you yourself, your personality? How does it think it kind of helps your players prepare for this moment right now?
Well, the last time I checked, everyone loves exposure. Everyone has this on right now, a cell phone. They checking their tweets, they're checking their Instagram, they're checking their followers. And with cameras around, that enhances all of that. With exposure, that enhances all that. All these kids, that's what they want. And that's what we're giving them. And that's what they deserve.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Stephen Gaither.
Coach Prime.
How you doing, sir?
Doing well, doing well. When you look back, I mean, it's been a remarkable year. Just in February, you're coaching your first game. Now you're SWAC Coach of the Year, up for the Eddie Robinson Award and all that. How have you? What has been your biggest takeaway since your first game till now, starting the season back in February, and now how have you evolved and talk about the economic impact that you guys are having as well, because I know that's big as well.
Right. Let me do one thing at a time. I'm 54 right now. I can't remember all that stuff. So the first part of that is that consistency. We challenge ourselves to be consistent on a daily basis. We watch a lot of film. We do a lot of study. We do a lot of preparation. We just want these kids to be consistent, not only consistent on the field, consistent off the field in the classroom, in their tutoring, with the yes, sir, the no, sir, the yes, ma'am, the no, ma'am, in the dining hall. We want them to be consistently an asset and not a liability. And that's something that they have warranted. They have given them back to us. And we've taught them the gift of reciprocation. Like I'm going to give them everything. They have, I think they have 5 helmets. They have several uniforms. They have several pairs of cleats. Okay, if I'm giving you that, I'm going to expect something back. And that means work. I want you to work hard because I'm going to make sure you got that swag, you got that look, you got that je ne sais quoi, you got that. So they understand that, and they've embodied it, man. I love these kids, and they're very competitive. On the practice field, they're competitive. They want to compete because Charles has seen it. Like, these kids know you have a bad week in practice. You probably gonna be so far deep on that bench, you won't be able to see the game. You might as well get in the stands. So they understand that's really how we get down here at Jackson State. That's how we practice. That's how we work. The economic impact has been phenomenal. That's just a fruit of winning. The problem is that if we're bringing $5 million to a city, what's our cut? Somebody got to see us with something to help recruiting, with help something to help the whole program. Somebody need to see us. Come over here and shake hands and put some in it, something that folds and is told that got men on it with names. But because we can't bring $5 million to a city and nothing, like that's a real impact, and we need it for the program. We're steady trying to impress these recruits, trying to get these recruits, trying to warrant these recruits that are going to Power 5 situations. And they're seeing the glitz and glamour. So if we're able to bring 5 million, projectably probably 3 to 4, I don't know how many fans we expect to come this week, but I'm pretty sure we're going to rally together. We're going to pack this thing. But the economic impact has been phenomenal. The different sponsorships that we've brought in has been phenomenal. We just want to make sure it goes back into the program, the football program, so that we can keep on doing what we're doing at a certain level. Because I think our recruit budget is what? He laughed. I looked over there and he laughed when I said the recruit budget. But you know, we do the best. We man, come on, you know how we are. All of us on the screen right now, we do the best with what we got, and we don't complain. That's how we grew up. That's how we grew up. All my friends came over to the house and eat, and I didn't know how we was gonna do it. 2 fish and 5 loaves, but we got it there. Everybody ate. Everybody smiling at the end of the day, and that's what we're doing in regards to recruiting. But if we're having an impact like you're alluding to, Mr. Gaither, come on, you got to see us, bless us, help us, unite with us.
JSU outdrew Ole Miss and State.
Yeah, I think we outdrew Ole Miss and Mississippi State last game. Somebody say something, clap for us or something like it. They need to come on, clap with a check. I don't want you to clap with your hand, clap with a check. Come over here and give us something so we can keep this going.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Gates.
Last question goes to Brian Bearfield.
Coach, you have been involved in some big games during your playing days. How good does it feel to be in this type of game as a coach?
I love it. I still get, I'm not going to say butterflies, but I anticipate, because when you're nervous about something, that means you're not prepared. And I'm always prepared. And the kids are prepared. The coaches are prepared. But I envision certain plays. I envision certain calls we're going to make. I envision what we're going to do. And we go over all these situations. I mean, I have a coaches meeting. I say 3rd and 5. They're at the +20. What we running? I want to know. I don't want it to be a surprise when we get on the field. Okay, 1st and 10, the ball is at the 10. What plays we running? Give me a whole drive. Give me 4 plays right now. Because if we're up by this, it's going to be a 4-play down. I'm not kicking a field goal. I'm going to score. I want to put them away. So we practice all these different situations, all these different tests that could possibly occur in the game. We practice guys going down. Okay, starting left tackle goes down. How do we replace that? Center goes down. How do we replace that? We go through all these different aspects of the game. That what if I could have and should have done? What if it happens? So that we're prepared, man. So we try our best to prepare for everything. We really do. And I love. From day one, I've said that Rod and our staff, they comfort me, and we got to give a lot of love to Coach Fleet, man, Coach Gary. I mean, shoot, I'm gonna cut the leg off this trophy they're gonna give me and just let him have it at his house, or cut a quarter of it off, because he deserves something. I can't take the whole darn trophy home. I got to give him part of it, the upper body of the lower body. I don't know which part he wants, but I'm gonna give him a part of it, because the job that he did was unbelievable. And trust me, I was in the hospital texting and going off and FaceTiming. Put this fool. I was telling them to put the phone to the player's face so he could see my face. You do that one more time. Like, I was really yelling from the hospital, man. The folks thought I was crazy on the floor. But I can't get that coaching out of me. So I was in heavily medicated and coach trying to coach my butt off. But he handled things, man. And I got a lot of love and respect for Coach Fleet. He deserves a lot.
And real quickly, Coach, because I know you stay 2 steps ahead of everything, this is the message for recruiting now. You used to walk into players' homes and meet their parents and things like that, and you walked in as, primetime Deion Sanders.
Yeah,
now you're walking in and potentially could walk in as SWAC champion, head
That's
coach.
wonderful. I didn't think of that. I'm glad you said that. I may have to can we get a chain made that says SWAC champion, coach of the year? Why? Coach of the year. COT. Well, just call me Cody.
But Coach,
y'all let the wrong one win coach of the year. Y'all let the wrong one. Dennis, give me that. Give me that right now, so I can hold that while I'm on this. This is the last question. Give me that so I can hold that. Yeah, don't mind this. Yeah, y'all go ahead. Go ahead. Continue the conversation.
but Coach, now that players are able to see, what you've done, with this team, what Jackson State has accomplished this year, does the message change now that the kids are able to see, the players are able to see the process?
No, man. Honestly, that's a great question, my brother Brian. We got to get these guys to pros, man. We got to get them to the next level. We got to get them six-figure professional jobs, not jobs, but careers. That's the way I think. You know, this is wonderful. This is beautiful. But these guys, they got to go on to bigger and better things, man. They got to be part of the solutions around our country and not part of the consistency of the problem. And that's my responsibility. Someone has to go pro. I think we're going to have a phenomenal year. I'm suspecting at least 5 guys should be drafted. At least five guys amongst the SWAC. We got some dogs in the SWAC. We really do. And I've seen some guys that I know I know what a pro looks like. I know what a pro looks like. And we have some guys in the SWAC that can flat out do it. They could get it done. They just need an opportunity. That's all. So that's where my mind is, not just going into the crib and now I'm Cody. You know, I was confident anyway. I ain't need Cody to beat me. I'm straight. I felt like I was dead anyway. Y'all just caught on to it. I feel like you just caught on to it late. I feel like I was dead anyway. Yeah. But SWAC coaches, you know what, man? You know who's one of the best coaches in the SWAC that does not get the recognition is Coach Dancy. It's Coach Dancy down Mississippi Valley, man. The resources that brother has, lack thereof of support in the job that he's done this year, man, please. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna at least cut the ankle off my man and send it to him because he coached his butt off this year. And everybody that played against them, it was a physical, tough game, and it was some casualties at the end of the game because his boys are physical, they're well coached, they're tough, hard nosed, and you gotta go take the game. They're not gonna give it to you. You gotta go take it. So much love to Coach Dancy, man. Much love, and much respect. Give him a raise. Should deserve one.
Coach, if we could get one more that we overlooked, and this will be the final question, that's going to go to Mark Berman.
Deion, when you look at Prairie View's tape, what do you think of their quarterback, Juwan Pass?
I think he's good. I think he can play the game really well. He's a leader. We know that because they wouldn't be where they are. He's a leader that's going to have to make some plays. We apply pressure, man. We bust water pipes, man. We bust pipes around here. So we're gonna apply a lot of pressure, and he's gonna have to stand and deliver because he's gonna get hit. He's gonna get hit a lot. That's what we do. That's not saying anything against him because I think this kid is a phenomenal athlete. I think he's a phenomenal quarterback, but he's gonna have to stand and deliver.
How much is it an advantage to have the game in your backyard?
I don't care where it is. The location has nothing to do with what we plan on doing. It could be wherever it is. If you could ball, you could ball. It has nothing to do with home or away. I love it at home because our fans are, I think, the best. I think they're proving they're the best in the SWAC. Forget the SWAC. They're the best in the FCS. They're the best. Our fans are the best. I mean, they come out, they support, and I think we're looking at another 50,000+. I don't know how many are coming from there, but that's not our concern. But this is one moment where Mississippi State, Mississippi Valley, Alcorn, Ole Miss, did I miss anybody else? Who else in here? Southern Miss, all of them, we got to unite together, okay? You can wear your school colors, but you got to come and represent Mississippi. We're representing Mississippi this weekend. So I don't mind if you have your Alcorn colors on. I don't mind if you have your Mississippi Valley colors on. I just want you in the stands to represent because this is Mississippi versus. That's what this is. And we want everybody to come together and pack this event, pack this game like they should so we can understand that SWAC has purpose and they have presence. I think we've shown that all year long, and this game should be no difference.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Coach, thank you so much for your time and good luck on Saturday.
God bless y'all. Dr. J. Kenyatta, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well.
All right, just checking on you. I need a question from you next time. You got to have a question or something. Don't just sit up there and put this pay-per-view.
I had a question.
Mr. Jackson.
Pull it down. I was going to ask you about coaches that you have on your staff about some of these open positions since you're talking about their quality. Do you believe that they are prepared to be candidates to be head coaches?
Yes, that's what we groom them for. They sit in my office all the time. I don't want to hold them back. I don't have no chain around their neck. I want them to soar. I want a tree. Everybody else got a tree. I want a tree. Shoot, I ain't talking about no
That's right.
mango tree either. I want a
And you
tree.
gonna get a tree. Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right.
Appreciate you, my brother. That was a good one. Right off the top of your cap. Hey, God bless y'all. Wish y'all the best. Hey, when y'all gonna send me my trophy? When they gonna send me my Cody trophy? I need my stuff.
On Saturday.
Your code.
It happened on Saturday.
Let's get it.
We don't announce me now. They ain't gonna give it to me Saturday. It's like, don't treat me like that. Give me mine. Give me what's mine. Hey, I'm just joking with y'all. God bless y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Later.